Hello, friends. It's Danielle Métis, scientist, health coach, and mom with Hashimoto's. I want to share a couple of the highs and lows of my own Hashimoto's journey, some of the challenges and successes and struggles and so on that I've gone through. Well, I think I got Hashimoto's when I was 23, so that was a long time ago because I'll be 53 this year. And I say I think because I've kind of traced the root cause back, but I have no idea when it started because nobody could help me with my symptoms back then. But I started with something called hashitoxicosis, which is such a dramatic attack on the thyroid that a whole bunch of tissue is destroyed, a whole bunch of hormone is dumped into the bloodstream, and I actually went super hyperthyroid because there's a whole bunch of thyroid tissue jumped into my bloodstream, lost a lot of weight, blood pressure went way down, dizzy spells, all that. And then a few months later, all that changed and I became hypo and then started gaining weight and so on. And I was like 22 years old. So I had no idea what was going on. What did happen, again, thinking about my root causes and like how this all starts for us. When I was 18 years old, I got Epstein-Barr virus. I had mononucleosis in college. Got over that. It sucked. I was really tired and had a high fever and all that. Um, then 5 years later, or 4 years later, when I was out of college, my family went through a horrible tragedy. My aunt was dying slowly of a brain tumor. It was horrible. She'd had multiple sclerosis beforehand, so you can see autoimmunity runs in my family. And yeah, I was helping like raise my cousin basically and take care of my mom, who was like somewhat suicidal, and it was just horrible. And that major, major trauma is what preceded those Hashimoto's symptoms. So that's really where it triggered. But again, I didn't know it was Hashimoto's. I had no idea. That was in 1992 or three. And then I was diagnosed hypo in 2003, 10 years later, when I was trying to get pregnant. And I couldn't. And I suffered from infertility and three miscarriages and was diagnosed as hypothyroid and put on medication. Oh, here's a pill, two pills. They put me on T3 and T4. At least I had a somewhat enlightened doctor. Got through that pregnancy. But it wasn't until 2014 that I was actually diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And that by then I had like changed my diet back in 2000, starting in 2007 and 2009, and like learned a whole bunch finally. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get a blood test and find out what this is. Nobody told me any of this. I had to dig through a ridiculous number of books and research and all this stuff. So my journey probably started like with that hashitoxicosis in, when I was, what, I say 22, 23, I don't know, somewhere around there, being diagnosed 10, 11 years later as hypo, and then another 11 years before I found out that I had Hashimoto's. So yeah, 20 years before I was actually diagnosed with Hashimoto's. But now I feel fantastic, and I'll do part two in another video to tell you how I got here. Like and follow for more.